I'm Chris Murphy, and this movie is going to show you how to be a good student when you take notes when you're taking an online class. Many times you'll be taking classes online. It's really grown in popularity. And I've taken hundreds of hours, and typically I'm learning computer things, and I've learned some strategies that I'd like to share with you today. And the course that I'm talking about is one where you really want to retain the information and you want a reference. It's not one you're taking casually. This is one you really want to master a topic. And in my case, it was many computer subjects, and in your case, maybe it's something else. But you're going to have a document that you can refer to, and you're going to be really efficient creating it. So let's now learn how that's done. The secret, in my opinion, is using two monitors. What's going to be happening is on this monitor, I'm going to be viewing the course that's online, and meanwhile, you're going to now use a second monitor. In this case, I've got a second display here, and it's very simple to attach. Typically, there's a cable connecting one device to the other. If you're using a Macintosh, a lot of times you need an adapter, and a PC, typically you don't. And you're also going to see that in addition to a monitor, you can do this with a TV. I'm going to show you as well. You can hook up a TV, and that will act as a second display. In that case, you use an HDMI cable. Don't let those names scare you whatsoever. It's just really just a way to have one computer use a second screen. So what I'm going to show you now is currently they're both showing the same thing. That's not what we want. So what I'm going to do on the mirroring is on. That is not what you want. You want them to be separate displays where you can use each of them independently. So I'm going to, in the Macintosh, turn mirror displays off. And then what you're going to see, just to drive home the point, is that is really just an extension of my desktop here. So I'm able to move these items back and forth. So that essentially is what you're going to see me doing, is how to take notes, and you're going to see some tricks as well. But let me show you how easy it is with a television. So I'm just going to take this TV up here. It's already plugged in. I'm going to take an HDMI cable, no big mystery. I'm going to shake that off, and I'm just going to plug this in. And there you go. So it's really a simple thing. Don't let it intimidate you. It's just a simple cable, and I prefer to use a smaller display. This to me is a little bit overkill. So what I'm going to do now is just go back to the other. All right, so now that we've seen the secret really is using two monitors, let's learn how to do some of the basics and how it's advantageous. So here I am on a course, Codecademy, for example, learning how to do some basic web stuff. So what I would do is copy the text from the course. Naturally, I don't need to type it. I'm saving a lot of time in that. And I'm just simply moving my cursor over to the other monitor, and I'm pasting it there. So that's fantastic. Like, I then know this is a website that's explaining how to do a particular thing. I, of course, can come in here and type a description, which you'll be seeing later on. But one other thing that I find myself doing all the time is grabbing a screenshot. And here's an example of that. This course, you see there's a visual, which is going to be helpful, and some HTML in this case. I want that in my document because it's going to teach me how, in this case, to do some floating. And in this case, there is a series of keys being held down, and I'm going to give you a website that'll show you any operating system and how to do that. Everything can do this the same way, a different way, but get the same result. So I want this picture. So I want the picture, and I'm dragging and the text as well. So that together is explaining something to me. I'm now moving over to my document right here, and I'm just going to create some space and paste it in there. So you can see that this document is compiling what I think are the important points of a certain course. So when I need to remember how to do something, because I can't remember all this technical stuff all the time, or whatever you're going to be learning, and I go to that document, and I know everything's there. It saves me from going back to the course and trying to remember where it was. So this document is really important to me, and I use them all the time for reference. So that, again, this is when you want to learn something, you want to master something, and have a good document as a reference. You want to make sure that it's cloud-based, so I would highly recommend using a Google Doc, and Chrome is by far my choice because it does a good job accepting the screenshots. So you're going to learn some other tips as we go on, but this essentially is the basic. You've got your course. Typically, I have it on the left, and I'm dragging things over to the right. And that's the document that I have in the cloud. So you're going to learn a few other tricks, but essentially that's the trick that's going to help you be super efficient and create a document that you're going to love you have down the road. All right, let's get started making a document from scratch. I use a template. So what I do is I open up the template, and you'll see what I have in the template in a little bit, and I make a copy. And I'll just call this demo. Okay, so I'm in Google Chrome. I'm in creating a Google Doc, and I'm all set to go. In here, naturally, I would list the course name. I won't make you suffer through my typing that in. And now I'm just going to quickly grab some text over here. So I'm just on the other monitor. I'm copying it. I'm coming over here now, and I'm pasting it. Okay, fair enough. That's a little bigger than I wanted, but I'll live with it for now. So then let's grab an image. So you can see now you're just watching it what I did before, and you're just seeing it on one monitor, and it's a little up close and personal. So there is the image. Now one thing that you might want to see too is when it comes time for adding your comments, you can do something that is quite efficient, voice typing. I have clicked on the icon, and it is now typing everything that I'm saying, period. The accuracy is astounding, and I think this may be something that you find quite useful, period. So you could see that it didn't type the word period, it knew to enter a period. So what I'm going to do now is show you some of the reasons I use a template. Typically what I have is what I get out of the course verbatim, I want it in black type, and I've changed the size here, so I'm going Command Option 0, and that snaps into a particular font size and color. So when I see something in black, I know that's there from the class. Now here's something that I have said, and I'm going to double click, it's a word, but when you triple click, it gets the whole paragraph. And now I want that to be blue in my case, so I go Option Command 1, and it types it blue the same size. So I just repurpose those paragraph styles to be color coded, so when I look at a document that I've created and it's been a while since I've viewed it, it really flags to me what I'm thinking and what was in the course. And then sometimes, I'll show you this, there'll be something really critical in there, and I use this sequence right here. It's another way to create a style, and I'll show you how you do that. So let's imagine we come down here and we want to create a style. So what we do first is we make it look the way we want, and I'll just pick something. We'll make it be 24, and we'll make it be bold, and we'll tell the text to be that color. So with it highlighted, now if you go to Format, Paragraph Style, and let's pick Heading 3, I can update Heading 3 to match. So now it's kind of created that style. I'm ready to use it with keystrokes, so let's see what that would look like for the course name. So Option Command 3, and it just created that. It's very helpful to color code things, make things different sizes, and I just have my own scheme right there for that. All right, let's take a look at a document that I use. This is one from a course that I took from Udemy, and it was quite complex. There's a whole bunch of chapters in here, and I made notes on the ones that interested me. So the first thing I'm going to do is go over here and show you it's 19 pages long. And if you scroll down, you'll see some of the color coding there to flag certain things, a bunch of images in here, and blue text that says I have some thoughts about that. So naturally, you go through your whole document creating this, but in addition, when it gets to be quite lengthy, and I want to go to the PHP section, what you're able to do is insert bookmarks. So you'll see one in action here. By clicking on PHP, I'm saying, yeah, let's go to that bookmark, and it just zips me down here to PHP. I don't need to scroll down and wonder what page it's on. Then in addition, if you like to be super organized, you can do back to top, so it'll bring me back here. So the way that is done is you basically go to a portion of the document where you want to create a bookmark, and I'll just pick this one right here, conversation opened right here, and I'm going to insert a bookmark. So then you get the little icon of a bookmark, and then we're going to go up top, and I'll just create a test here, and I'll say test, and you then want to insert a link. So far, so good. Now, here, what kind of link? Well, in this case, it is a bookmark. And then I noticed that's the text that was by that bookmark I just created. So I do conversation opened. I click there. I apply it. So now, if I want to go to that area, it just zips me down there. So that is a very handy way to find the content of a document. So in addition, I just want to go through some of this where you can see we've got the bookmarks up there and they're underlined because they are links. Then here in the reverse text, more or less, it's very good information for me. It just tells me what account I use, and it told me that I saved this document somewhere. So I use that to really catch my eye and say, here's something you need to see. And then scrolling through it, that's straight out of the text. And then the blue again is where I'm saying, hey, I played with the div tags inside of here and learned whatever. So the document, just to scroll through it, is quite long, complex. But if you use that system, you'll be able to identify what came out of the course, and this is a complex example right there. All that came from the text or emails, and then I use the blue when it's something I've thought. And then in addition, you've got the ability to have those bookmarks right there. So I think you'll find that handy. Another good thing that you want to be aware of is many courses are just movies online, and they could be quite lengthy. So this movie I have right here is 5 minutes and 25 seconds, but I am going to speed it up. This is not your typical interface, but if you look around on the movies, and I'm going to speed it up to 1.5 times its speed. That'll just save me tons of time. So now when I play this movie,
we do that simply by
he'll sound a little funny, but typically you can understand what he's trying to say. So, maybe that was too fast, but in addition, in a YouTube video, you've got the same thing here. So the settings, if you've got the speed, and then let's just get this guy going at 1.25 speed, and we'll get him going.
The final result will look like this.
He's using the voice from the computer, which is silly, but it is speeding up, and instead of watching it for 11 minutes, it'll probably cut down to like 8 minutes or something like that. So it can save you a lot of time as you're watching movies. Speed it up. You can drag the playhead around. You don't need to suffer through the entire movie. So thank you for taking the time to watch this movie. I hope you learned some strategies for taking a course online.
Dad, did you take my TV?